have prepared a short promo for this important event. And this is our tribute to Pakistan and China's 70 years of diplomatic ties, starting from our hearts to the Himalayas, to sea, and to sweeter than any sweeter thing in the world. So this promo is dedicated to Pakistan-China relations, 70 years of diplomatic and heart-to-heart ties. So here it goes. So ladies and gentlemen, Institute of Peace and Diplomatic Studies initiated this China-Pakistan economic, this media forum as a benchmark for continuing our relationship further amongst our media groups, not only journalists, but also filmmakers, production houses, different areas of communication and linkages across Pakistan and China. Institute of Peace and Diplomatic Studies is primarily Pakistan's first think and do tank. We call ourselves think and do tank because we not only believing on thinking, but also doing and creating an act of what we think. We can also translate that into a policy. And over the years, we are a non-profit research, advocacy, and public diplomacy think tank, and IPDS aims to connect and strengthen Pakistan's effective role in global diplomacy and intellect Silk Road across the world. IPDS is, of course, we are based our work on dialogue series, effective advocacy, of course, education modules, of course, and then consultancy services through our well-built and needed linkages and initiatives on public diplomacy and engagements in different thematic areas, primarily on diplomacy, and of course, leadership and diplomatic studies. We had initiated at the Institute as we envision ourselves to be a larger university in the world. We had established International Young Diplomat School, Center for BRI and China Studies, Center for Shanghai Cooperation Organization Studies, very important because recently you must have seen Prime Minister Imran Khan visiting publication is the Diplomatic Insight that we've been publishing for the last 14 years. And of course, IPDS is now a subsidiary to Diplomatic Insight Group. We are 4 entities within the Diplomatic Insight Group, which is, of course, the Diplomatic Insight magazine, Institute of Peace and Diplomatic Studies, Global News Pakistan, which is a translation news agency converting our narrative globally into different languages, and of course, Belt and Road Consultants Pvt Ltd, where we envision Pakistan's presence to 148 countries which are part of Belt and Road Initiative globally. As you know, ladies and gentlemen, over the past 7 decades, Pakistan-China relations remained thriving and progressing with leaps and bounds in diverse sectors, including media, of course. However, with the rise of the digital age, both countries faced robust media narratives, and of course, propaganda war and false information from the naysayers and enemies of not entirely this exceptional friendship, but of course, we have seen that against China-Pakistan Economic Corridor and other significant projects that we continue want to do. CPEC, China-Pakistan Media Forum, has been established in order to build stronger ties amongst our media groups and outlets from both sides to collaborate on strengthening relationships through informed dialogue. And the Media Forum is meant to strengthen not only in news, but in other important areas of cooperation, including film, drama, music, and many other areas. So first of all, in this whole background, we established this Media Forum. So I would like to request first His Excellency Mr. Nong Rong, who is the Ambassador of People's Republic of China to Pakistan, for his kind remarks. He has been recently assumed his duties as Ambassador of People's Republic of China to Pakistan, and earlier he has been serving in different important positions in China. So welcome, Excellency Ambassador Nong Rong. He will be joining us virtually from his office.
Whenever we talk about the China-Pakistan friendship, this is the first expression that comes across our mind. It is the power of the media that has made this expression deeply rooted in the hearts of the people. In fact, the media is known as the fourth power. During the 7 decades of China-Pakistan relationship, media is not only an important force for spreading China-Pakistan friendship, but also an important component of promoting the friendship. We must attach great importance to the unique role of the media and give it the full play with new mission of the current times. Meanwhile, compared with the closeness of the hearts of our two peoples, the knowledge of each other's country does not match with the intensity of our friendship. There is so much room for enhancing our mutual understanding in a comprehensive and in-depth way. And this is exactly our media should make all its endeavors. Mr. Xi Jinping, General Secretary of the CPEC Central Committee, recently urged efforts to strengthen China's international communication, presenting a true, multidimensional, and panoramic view of the country, creating a favorable external environment for China's reform and development, actively contributing to building a community with a shared future for humanity. Furthermore, China and Pakistan all face the common challenge of false propaganda and disinformation. Some external hostile forces are trying to undermine the development of China and Pakistan, as well as the unity and mutual trust between the two countries. In a systematic way, as President Xi Jinping said recently, a world of peace and development should embrace civilization of various forms, and the world is big enough for accommodate common development and progress of all countries. However, recent development like the formation of Quad and AUKUS are undermining such efforts. Therefore, the media of China and Pakistan should be responsible to speak out for fair and justice and become a positive force for regional peace and stability. I have noticed that today's forum is attended by representatives of governments, media professionals, and friends from all walks of life who care about China-Pakistan friendship. I sincerely hope we may share our opinions and think about how to make the best use of media resources in China and Pakistan. When I met and communicated with Chairman Faisal Javed and Ambassador Haq, we always discuss this issue, which make me feel much inspired and full of spirit. In return, I would like to take this opportunity to make 3 proposals. First, we should strengthen synergy among media cycles and deepen exchanges and cooperation between the media of the 2 countries. Chinese media has 7 permanent bureaus and 1 Urdu language studio in Pakistan. Pakistan is believed to have about 100 television channels and 150 radio stations. Both countries' media should form in-depth cooperation in terms of exchange of news material, co-production of programs, personnel training, and co-organizing of activities. Second, we should strengthen resources integration and fully mobilize the participation of multiple entities. We have about 200 Chinese enterprises in Pakistan, 1 China Cultural Center, 5 Confucius Institutes, and 2 independently run Confucius classrooms, let alone a number of China friendly organizations. In particular, the companies under the framework of CPEC can provide true and vivid stories of China-Pakistan friendship through the progress of the project and the perspective of local employees, which are reflected on my Twitter recently. Third, we should strengthen the international public opinion projection and join hands to combating fake news. China-Pakistan friendship serves the interests of the 2 countries and the needs of regional stability. Our media bears the sacred mission of advocating order and justice. We should take advantage of our complementarity, increase positive publicity, and take the initiative for building narratives from our own perspectives. We should pay attention to the tactics and art of international communication, improve our ability to speak out on major issues, try to set up official platform to refute rumors and jointly respond to negative public opinions. Finally, I would like to thank the organizer, the Institute of Peace and Diplomatic Studies, for their thoughtful planning and wonderful preparation of this forum. I would also like to thank all the guests for your dedication in promoting China-Pakistan friendship. I wish the event a great success. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Excellency, for your remarks and for your proposals. And I hope that those people who are listening to you right now can also take the initiatives and build us stronger. This is not just one forum. This is a collective effort. And this is, I must say that this is just not Institute of Peace and Diplomatic Studies, but we would like to outreach to our friends, brothers, and colleagues, not only in Pakistan, but outside in China as well, for collaboration and for working together. Thank you so much for your remarks. Now, I would like to share that Mr. Moinul Haq, who is the Ambassador of Islamic Republic of Pakistan to People's Republic of China, has shared very kindly with us the video message. Ambassador Moinul Haq has served not only this is the height of his career, of course, and he has served in Belgium, Canada, France, Sri Lanka, United States, and Turkey, and is very enthusiastic about China-Pakistan economic corridor and envision a real link between the two countries among the development and cooperation. So, Ambassador Moinul Haq.
Honorable Federal Minister for Information, Chaudhry Fawad Hussain Sahab, Honorable Minister of State for Information, Mr. Farooq Habib Sahab, His Excellency Ambassador Nongrong, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great privilege for me to address China-Pakistan Media Forum and share my thoughts on the role of media for expanding Pakistan-China bilateral friendship. I would like to congratulate the Institute of Peace and Diplomatic Studies, and especially Mr. Asif Noor, for hosting and organizing this important event. I'm confident that fruitful exchanges of views today would enhance media cooperation between our two countries and help us deepen our friendship and understand each other's point of view better. Distinguished guests, in today's digital age, media has assumed greater significance not only for the dissemination of news, but also due to its ever-increasing role in national development and growth of interstate relations. Media's importance for shaping public narrative has been amplified by the ubiquitous spread of the social media and its captivating influence on general public and intelligentsia. Such powerful is media's grasp, there is no more a peripheral force in our societies, but in fact a formidable vehicle for social change. Dear friends, the media cooperation between China and Pakistan has played a historic role and a key role to promote our very special bilateral relations. It is a tribute to the professionalism and patriotism of our media organizations that Pakistan-China friendship has evolved into an iron brotherhood and all-weather ties, permeating across all sections of our societies. Our journalists and reporters have keenly observed the sentiments of bilateral trust, understanding and admiration at the leadership level, and spread the message of fraternal love and affection to every nook and corner of our two countries. Our world today finds itself at the threshold of new changes unseen in recent history. The technological revolution, accompanied by a shifting geopolitical landscape, has amplified the importance of media to present a true and unbiased narrative. Responsible, mature, and objective reporting devoid of sensationalism is required. So we look forward to media organizations, opinion makers, and journalists of our two countries to play their key role for national development of our two countries and strengthening our bilateral friendship. This year, as you know, our two countries are celebrating 70 years of our diplomatic ties, an important milestone in the history of our two friendly countries, and an opportune moment to not only celebrate our past achievements and renew our resolve to elevate our friendship to a new pedestal of bilateral cooperation in future as well. To celebrate this year, our two countries have organized many events, so far 80 events, and we hope that we would be able to organize more than 100 by the end of this year. And these events include the Festival Pakistan Film Festival in China, Pakistan-China Puppet Show, Photography and Painting Exhibition, Pakistan's first ever participation in the Beijing International Book Fair, and many others. The main focus of these events has been to highlight our cultural affinity and passing on the finest traditions of our friendship to the younger generations. So I'm so grateful to the media organizations and the journalists from our two countries for widely publicizing these events and spreading the message of friendship amongst our masses. To carry forward this good work, let me propose some few ideas. First of all, media organizations should highlight the historic nature and the unique nature of Pakistan-China all-weather partnership and its role for regional peace and stability. Secondly, our media houses should also highlight the success of BRI, its universal legitimacy and successes for spurring economic growth and development in partner countries. The discourse on China-Pakistan Economic Corridor should particularly bring to fore its concrete and tangible achievements for eliminating Pakistan's energy crisis, expansion of our physical infrastructure, and role in the socio-economic prosperity of the people of Pakistan. Thirdly, media organizations should make new documentaries and movies to highlight our common achievements and heritage rooted in our Asian values. Fourthly, I think we need to have institutional mechanism for bilateral linkages between our two media organizations and leading to joint publication of articles. Fourthly, no media strategy is successful without stirring hearts of our peoples to the symphony of friendship. Therefore, the media houses should launch dedicated campaigns for galvanizing public support for our bilateral relations, educate masses about the historic significance of the bilateral friendship and its strategic importance for our two countries. Excellencies, honorable ministers, friends, friendship between Pakistan and China is not merely the result of convergence of our bilateral interest, but in fact it has been determined by history, by our geography, and by our culture. It is based on mutual respect, mutual trust, and mutual cooperation. Our media therefore needs to play the crucial role to help nurture our historic ties, educate our peoples, propagate our stories of friendship, and continue advancing new and innovative ideas for achieving our shared destiny. Playing this role successfully would be of great service to our friendship, regional stability, and most significantly for the prosperity of our two peoples. So I thank you all. Long live China-Pakistan friendship.
Mr. Faisal Javed has been a member of the Senate since 2018 and has been part of the ruling party Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf and as chairman of the Information and Broadcasting Committee, as well as member of the Climate Change, Aviation, Defense and Foreign Affairs as well. So Mr. Faisal Javed.
बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम, अस्सलाम वालेकुम। आसिफ नूर साहब, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया, आपने बड़ा ज़बरदस्त ये इनेकाद किया है जो कि चाइना पाकिस्तान मीडिया फ़ोरम है। इसके तहत आपने एक ज़बरदस्त इस कॉन्फ्रेंस का इनेकाद किया है। सभी पार्टिसिपेंट्स को जो कि चाइना से हैं और पाकिस्तान से हैं, आपको खुशामदीद, आपको ढेरों सलाम। जो 70 साल पाकिस्तान चाइना का जो डिप्लोमेटिक रिलेशंस हैं, उस सिलसिले में 100 से ज़्यादा इवेंट्स का इनेकाद किया जा रहा है, जिनमें से एक ये भी है और ये पहली दफ़ा मीडिया फ़ोरम जो है उसका इवेंट हो रहा है और ये बहुत ही खुशाइन बात है, क्योंकि इस वक्त पाकिस्तान और चाइना की जो दोस्ती है उसको निशाना बनाने की नाकाम कोशिशें की जा रही हैं। लेकिन हमने इन कोशिशों का मुकाबला करना है। ये जितनी भी साजिशें हो रही हैं, जितने भी फेक न्यूज़ के थ्रू CPEC को और बेल्ट एंड रोड इनिशिएटिव को टारगेट किया जा रहा है, इस हवाले से हम सब की ज़िम्मेदारी है, ख़ास तौर पे हमारे मीडिया प्रोफेशनल्स की, کہ وہ اس نیریٹو کو جو فیک نیریٹو ایک بنایا جا رہا ہے ہمارے دشمنوں کی طرف سے فیک نیوز کے تھرو، اس کا ہم نے مقابلہ کرنا ہے. اور یہ بہت امپورٹنٹ بات ہے کہ لوگوں کا لوگوں سے رابطہ ہو، پیپل ٹو پیپل کانٹیکٹ مزید بڑھے چائنا کے ساتھ ہمارا، اور پھر پروفیشنلز کے ساتھ جو روابط ہیں اس میں بھی تیزی آنی چاہیے، انٹریکشن بڑھنا چاہیے، اور اس قسم کے ڈائلاگز جو ہیں وہ زیادہ سے زیادہ ہونے چاہیے، کیونکہ مسکنسیپشنز جو ہیں ان کو ختم کرنا بہت زیادہ ضروری ہے. پچھلے دنوں ہم نے ہماری جو اسٹینڈنگ کمیٹی ہے سینٹ کی، ہم نے مل کے چائنا کا جو منسٹری آف کامرس ہے اس کے ساتھ ایک ٹریننگ ورکشاپ، یہ چائنا کا انیشیٹو تھا پاکستانی میڈیا پروفیشنلز کے لیے، ینگ جو میڈیا پروفیشنلز ہیں اور ڈیجیٹل میڈیا پر بھی اور مختلف چینلز پر بھی، ان کے لیے انہوں نے یہ انعقاد کیا تھا، جس میں ہم نے اپنا بھرپور حصہ ڈالا اور ہماری طرف سے بھرپور کوارڈینیشن تھی. اور وہ تقریباً 3 ہفتے کا وہ ٹریننگ کا ایک ورکشاپ تھا جو کافی کامیاب رہا. اور اسی قسم کی بہت سی چیزیں ہو رہی ہیں. تو میڈیا پروفیشنلز کو اب سامنے آنا ہے، اور چائنا کے جو میڈیا پروفیشنلز ہیں ان کے ساتھ مل کے ہم نے یہ جو پاک چائنا دوستی کے اوپر ایک حملہ ہو رہا ہے اس کا مقابلہ کرنا ہے. یہ بیانیے کی جنگ ہے، نیریٹو کی ایک وار ہے جس کے اندر ہم سب نے کامیابی حاصل کرنی ہے. اور ہمارے ہاں تو اتنا بے پناہ زبردست ٹیلنٹ ہے جو کہ اوور دی ایئرز کام کرتا آیا ہے، اور اس ٹیلنٹ نے اب مل کر پاکستان کے لیے اور پاکستان چائنا دوستی کے لیے بھرپور انداز میں کام کرنا ہے. بہت کچھ سیکھنے کو ہے چائنا کی طرف سے بھی، جو ان کے گورننس کا ماڈل ہے، جس طرح سے ان کا میڈیا کا بھی میں کہوں گا کہ جس طرح سے فنکشن ہے، اس سے پاکستان بہت کچھ سیکھ سکتا ہے. اور بہت سی ایسی چیزیں پاکستان میں ہیں جس سے چائنا بھی بہت کچھ سیکھ سکتا ہے، کہ ہماری میڈیا میں ہم نے بڑا ایوالو کیا ہے اوور دا ایئرز. تو میڈیا پروفیشنلز کو اکٹھے ہونا ہے. اور آپ سب کو ایک بار پھر میری طرف سے بہت بہت مبارک ہو، آصف نور صاحب، آپ کو اور آپ کی پوری ٹیم کو، اور اس پاک چائنا میڈیا فورم کے جتنے بھی آرگنائزرز ہیں ان سب کو، کہ اس آپ نے زبردست ایک تقریب کا، اس ڈائلاگ کا انعقاد کیا ہے. اور یہ ڈائلاگز اب مزید آگے بڑھنے چاہیے. اپنا آپ سب خیال رکھیے گا. پاکستان چائنا دوستی زندہ باد.
بہت شکریہ. This was Mr. Faisal Javed, who is the chairman of the Senate Standing Committee on Information and Broadcasting. Now I would like to request Excellency Ms. Sultana Siddiqui, President of the Ham Network Limited, who will share remarks on the occasion and how we should be standing together as a woman of strength between Pakistan and China. We always call ourselves iron brothers, but we will not need to begin saying iron sisters as well. So, Madam Sultana, you are an inspiration yourself as the first woman of South Asia who has established a television network on her own and established and received in not only national but international awards. So, Madam Sultana, your presence is an asset for us today.
His Excellency the Ambassador of China to Pakistan, His Excellency Pakistan Ambassador to China, Senator Faisal Javed, distinguished speakers, friends, colleagues, and honored guests, Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon. It gives me great pleasure to be here. The topic today cannot be more timely, and I thank Mr. Asif Noor and Institute of Peace and Diplomatic Studies for giving us the opportunity to sit together and talk about it. It is true when people say that in absence of information, people assume the worst. But more dangerous is the fact that wealth of information creates poverty of attention. Today, more than a source of information, media is becoming a tool of war. Disinformation, fake news, multiple versions of incidents have disoriented people. Pakistan and China together face this onslaught today. The recent example of cricket series crisis created by miscreant against Pakistan should be classified as information terrorism. There is a need to establish institutions to safeguard against such threats. It cannot be the responsibility of government alone. Private sector can provide more agility and scalability and should be spearheading such initiatives. Hum News from its inception has lived by the motto of being independent, investigative, and inspirational. We offer our services to cooperate with news sources and institutions in China to form such forums where threats to transparent information can be dealt with. Furthermore, it is imperative that long-term cultural ties be strengthened between China and Pakistan. Despite many years of excellent relations between the two countries, we do not see this cultural exchange programs at a grassroots level. Both nations have very rich culture to offer, yet we have not even scratched. We do not have scratched the surface. When we share our stories, we are sharing our traditions, our morality, our value systems, our history, our childhood, our aspirations, our inspirations. When we tell our stories, we are actually sharing our emotional cues. We are telling each other what makes us tick. I can proudly say that Hum Network is the flag bearer of Pakistani cultural ethos. And now, as we pave roads over these ancient paths in CPEC, we should also build bridges of cultural exchange between the two nations. We should be able to see Chinese film and TV programs and enjoy music and poetry that fills the hearts of our Chinese brothers and sisters. Similarly, we should also be able to share our program in China. This exchange has to be institutionalized with participation of private media enterprise. I request both the honorable representatives of both the government to use this occasion to announce concrete steps where private media companies from both countries can showcase, exchange, and co-create content that can be available for viewers in Pakistan and China. Like when I was invited to be part of a jury of film festival in China, I had a chance to meet creative people there and was amazed how viewers in China enjoyed our films and I enjoyed the films they made. I was so inspired that I came back and started Pakistan International Film Festival. I was very happy to learn that our embassy in China has recently organized a film festival of Pakistani films. I'm told that our films were appreciated by the Chinese audience. I would like to see a festival of Chinese films in Pakistan and volunteer to do it on the platform of Karachi Film Society, if both Ministry of Information and Chinese Embassy help me. There should be similar interactions and exchange in field of digital and television as well. We released our film Parvaz Hai Junoo in China last year, and I am thankful to our dear Minister Sahab and the official of Chinese Embassy who took personal interest in making it happen. But I must also tell you that there is still tons of red tape that needs to be done away with. Despite political will, exporting the film to China was most difficult and time-consuming with a lot of paperwork. There is a need to increase the frequency of this exchange. Bilateral agreements and institutions governing them should be able to facilitate private enterprise. There is a strong need for a joint forum to exchange content produced by private companies in both the countries. Today's technologically advanced environment should enable such a platform. There is also a need to counter information terrorism that is a threat to both the countries. Investment in information and cultural assets and bridges will give dividends in the long run and help our young generation come closer. I once again thank you for giving me this opportunity, and I hope something positive comes out of this exchange. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Sultana. We would like to give you a memento of your presence here. Yes.
Now I would like to share with you that Ms. Wan, who is the senior journalist, Urdu Service of China Media Group, People's Republic of China, will be sharing her remarks in the video message. She is very fondly called as Musarat as well, and Ms. Wang has been a correspondent in the Urdu Service of China Radio International since 2019, and of course she is graduated from the Communication University of China and has appeared on many TV channels and shared her love for speaking Urdu and of course Pakistan. So Ms. Wan, who is the senior journalist, Urdu Service of China Media Group. Her message.
My dear Chinese and Pakistan friends, Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon. It is my great honor to have the chance to share my opinions on behalf of China Media Group on this forum. As a Chinese journalist who is a big fan of Pakistani culture and uses Urdu as a working language, I would like to speak in Urdu now, and I hope my Chinese friends don't mind. Assalamu alaikum दोस्तों, अगर आपने बरसों एक खबर बड़ी हो तो आपको मालूम होगा कि चीनी कंपनी हुआवे की CFO मो वांजो ने कनाडा में 3 साल ज़ेरे हिरासत रहने के बाद चीन वापस आते हुए चाइनीज रेड का लिबास पहना हुआ था और उन्होंने कहा कि अगर ईमान का कोई रंग है तो उसे चीनी बरजम के सूरा रंग जैसा होना चाहिए। असल में चीनी अवाम के दिल में न सिर्फ चाइनीज रेड चीनी सूरा रंग मौजूद है बल्कि पाकिस्तानी ग्रीन भी है। इसलिए आज मैंने पाकिस्तान के लिए अपने एहतराम और मोहब्बत के इजहार के लिए पाकिस्तानी ग्रीन लिबास पहना है। जब मैंने 2003 में यूनिवर्सिटी में उर्दू ज़ुबान को बतौर मेजर मंतखब किया तो उसके बाद से पाकिस्तान से मेरा रिश्ता मजबूत से मजबूत दर खुदा जरा गया। अपने यही जज्बात की अक्कासी इस नज़म से करना चाहूँगी। साथ हैं दोनों ऐसे जैसे साथ हैं दिल और जान। दिल की धड़कन चाइना है और सन से पाकिस्तान। 7 दहाई से बंधा है प्यार भरा ये बंधन। इज़ल की दस्तदार है सांझी, सांझे अपने दामन। देख के हम दोनों की चाहत दुनिया है हैरान। दोस्ती ऐसी सब मुर्गों के दिल का है इरमान। दोस्तों, मैं समझती हूँ कि दुनिया में दोस्ती की मुख्तलिफ इक़साम है, लेकिन हमारी दोस्ती सबसे ख़ास है। एक सहाफ़ी के तौर पर मैं अक्सर इस बात पर सोच विचार करती हूँ कि हमारे दोनों ममालिक के मीडिया इदारों के दरमियान बाहमी दावों और तबादलों को कैसे मज़ीद फ़रोग़ दिया जाए दोनों ममालिक में खबरों की रसाई को कैसे मज़ीद बढ़ाया जाए ताकि हमारे दोनों ममालिक के अवाम एक दूसरे को बेहतर अंदाज में समझ सकें। यह न सिर्फ मेरी पेशावराना सोच की वजह से है बल्कि पाकिस्तान के मेरे ख़ास जज्बात की वजह से भी है। मैं 3 साल तक पाकिस्तान में मुक़ीम रही हूँ। मुझे याद है कि एक दफ़ा मैं जनूबी पाकिस्तान के मुजफ्फरगढ़ में वाक़ एक लिसनर्स क्लब गई। जब मैं वहाँ पहुँची तो सारे गांव मुझसे मिलने चला आया, गोया वो अपने एक ऐसे रिश्तेदार से मिलने आए हैं जो काफ़ी अरसे बाद वापस लौटा। मैं उनकी खुशी महसूस कर सकती थी। उनकी सादा और बरजोश मुस्कुराहट देखकर मैं यह समझती हूँ कि मेरा मीडिया में आने का मकसद हासिल हो गया। इस वक्त चीन पाक दोस्ती को मज़ीद बनाने के लिए मीडिया के ज़राए मज़ीद वासी हो चुके हैं। मिसाल के तौर पर CMG के शुबाए उर्दू को देखें। पाकिस्तान में हमारा न सिर्फ ब्यूरो ऑफिस है बल्कि FM 98 दोस्ती चैनल का स्टूडियो भी मौजूद है। पाकिस्तानी सामीन हर रोज़ 18 घंटे ये नशरियात सुनते हैं। इसके अलावा हमारे फेसबुक पेज FM 98 दोस्ती चैनल के फॉलोअर्स की तादाद 8 मिलियन से तजावुज़ कर चुकी है। चाइनीज़ और पाकिस्तानी अवाम के दरमियान एक पुल बनाने की हमारी कोशिशें कभी नहीं रुकी। CPEC की तामीर को देशतर बनाने के साथ साथ चीन और पाकिस्तान के मीडिया इदारों के दरमियान बाहमी दावों की वसीह गुंजाइश मौजूद है। मेरे ख्याल में CMG का शुबाए उर्दू CPEC से मुतालिक इस वक्त एक रियलिटी शो का मंसूबा बना रहा है। अगर इस मंसूबे की मंजूरी मिल जाती है तो हम पाकिस्तान के टॉप TV चैनल के साथ ताउन करना चाहते हैं ताकि नए तरीके और जदीद टेक्नोलॉजी से CPEC के हवाले से लोगों की तफहीम में इजाफ़ा हो सके। मुख्तसर तौर पर मैं यह समझती हूँ कि चीन पाक हम नसीब मुआशरे की तामीर में हमारे दोनों ममालिक के मीडिया इदारों का इंतहाई अहम किरदार है। इस हवाले से चाइना मीडिया ग्रुप पाकिस्तानी इदारों के साथ भरपूर ताउन करने के लिए तैयार हैं। आखिर में मैं इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ पीस एंड डिप्लोमेटिक स्टडीज़ की दावत की शुक्रगुजार हूँ और मैं तमाम पाकिस्तानी दोस्तों के साथ एक छोटी सी वीडियो शेयर करना चाहती हूँ जो हमने चीन पाक दोस्ती के 7वें सालगिरह के मौके पर बनाई है। चीन पाक दोस्ती जिंदाबाद। आपका बेहद शुक्रिया।
我爱巴基斯坦，
我爱
我爱
我爱你，巴基斯坦。
我爱巴基斯坦，
我爱巴基斯坦，
我爱中国，我爱巴基斯坦。
मुझे पाकिस्तान से प्यार है।
मुझे पाकिस्तान से मोहब्बत है।
जिंबा दोस्ती जिंदाबाद।
मतलब पाकिस्तानी भाइयों सलाम वालेकुम, दिल से प्यार करते हैं आपको।
Thank you so much for your kind message. Now I would like to share the message of Professor Zhao Rong, who is the Senior Fellow of the Chongqing Institute for Financial Study of Renmin University. But he has stayed in Pakistan for the many years as a journalist and communication teacher, of course, and remained teaching as well. So Professor Zhao Rong, a very respectable Chinese president, remained in Pakistan and telling the stories of China to the students and faculty members and people from different walks of life. So Professor Zhao Rong, his message on the occasion.
Thank you, Mr. Asif Noor. Dear ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor to participate in the media forum again. China and Pakistan are all-weather strategic partnership, and we both are the most reliable friends with each other. It is really very significant for our two countries' media to share strong linkage with each other. Firstly, we need to jointly reflect the real, prosperous, and stable situation in Xinjiang and work together against so-called Uyghur Tribunal. China media also need Pakistan's help. Secondly, Chinese media should also positively report what Pakistan has sacrificed greatly for counter-terrorist war and contribute greatly for Afghanistan peace process, and both countries are the main force for regional peace and stability. Thirdly, we both need to report more about the progress of CPEC program and more highly praises the friendship development since the CPEC start. Fourthly, I hope more Chinese positive experiences on reduction of poverty, on counter-corruption movement, on comprehensive management of society can be reported through our platform. Lastly, but not least, I hope the conference win great successes, and through the platform, the media of both China and Pakistan can share strong linkage through sincerely and effective cooperation, especially in more substantial, sustainable, and pragmatic ways. Thank you so much.
Now I would like to call upon Mr. Maktoum Babar, who is Editor-in-Chief of the Daily Mail and of course Chairman of the Pakistan-China Media Friendship Association. Can we have him on the Zoom live as well? There you are. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me there. I hope you can hear me clearly. Pakistan, China both enjoy a lot of shared perceptions, a lot of common cultural values, and a lot of things that no other two nations enjoy. Back in 2002, I guess, when I started to publish some pages on regular basis on China, it was very hard for me to find material about China, because everything about China was available on the Google through the Western media resources. So after going through this trouble for quite some time, I finally left for China in 2004. And then with the ambassador of Pakistan, Mr. Babar Amin there, and ambassador, we decided to form a Pakistan-China Media Friendship Association so that we can get first-hand information about each other from direct resources, authentic resources. Since then, we have now got into agreements of professional cooperation with about a dozen top Chinese media organizations. And today, the Daily Mail is publishing 4 pages on China every day. The purpose of this cooperation was that we should have, just like the governments of Pakistan and China, the media of Pakistan and China should also enjoy the shared perception and should have joint efforts to confront the conspiracies by the Western media against China and Pakistan. We were enjoying this thing with utmost success, and now we can see that particularly after the launch of China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, a lot of Chinese media has also come to Pakistan, and a lot of Pakistani media is also having a lot of interest in China, and they are also publishing news about China on a regular basis. Pakistan-China media cooperation was never that important that it is today, because once again, Pakistan and China both are rounded up by the conspiracies of West and India. If you take the issue of Xinjiang, and similarly, if you take the issue of Balochistan, if you take the issue of terrorism in Pakistan, and if you take the issue of terrorism in Pakistan and China, media platform West on regular basis. And this is not that this is going to be over soon, but in fact, we are going to have more media conspiracies, particularly organized by the Western intelligence agency, after the formation of the new alliances like AUKUS and Quad and all those. I would like to say here that this AUKUS and Quad, these are not just some military alliances or some defense or security alliances. These are more lethal in their intelligence mechanism. We will have to see a lot of intelligence propagation or intelligence operations through media under such alliances like AUKUS or Quad. And we will be required to jointly, Chinese and Pakistan journalists and media houses would have to have a joint strategy to confront these conspiracies which we'll be having in the future. We will have to not only confront but expose these conspiracies, just like we have just recently seen the first attack of AUKUS on China-Pakistan relation, when they made us to pay the price of our friendship with China by organizing a fake intelligence threat regarding the visiting cricket team of the New Zealand, and out of nowhere, this tour got cancelled under fake threat.
Everybody, here is Scarlett from Symphony Group, and here I'd like to thank all for your speech, and now I would like to share something really solid for the future cooperation between China and Pakistan. So, Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Here my speech is mainly about the media matrix, which is going to happen in Pakistan, which should happen in Pakistan. The first thing I would like to share is about one question. I believe there are so many Chinese people already on this live show and they can watch this. So my question is, how much do you really know our neighbor? How much do you really know what does Pakistan mean? Pakistan behavior you can understand, but can you understand why? What is Pakistan? This is Pakistan, Harappan civilization, which has long history and really brilliant. Bacteria time, Kushan dynasty, Gupta dynasty, all of this together, it is Pakistan. Pakistan has a long history, which can give us more than this. And why we love Pakistan? This today, it is for 70 years cooperation and friendship, Dosti Zindabad. But why? Because in Kushan dynasty, Darojri people and Kushan people, we already share the same blood. That's why we love Pakistani. And here is my 2 points. First is people-centered. In Pakistan, I read Down, Observer, and those English media. Unfortunately, I can see the cotton price every day showing over there. I can see so many information showing over there, but we cannot see this in China. Another thing is Pakistan government want Chinese people to come visit and investment. Certainly, we want from our side as well. Unfortunately, we need more advertising. We need people to know more, see more, and believe more. Another thing is civilization. We need to look the same in civilization, but we need to look for the answer in difference. Because of curiosity, that's why people come to Pakistan, fall in love with Pakistan, and then they do investment over there. And here is my second part. Second part is what we had done before and what are we going to do in the future. So this is the company group, our group company plan. Here is the plan, media matrix. Media matrix have 4 parts. First is software. Our company already established our own software for this media. It's not only for the information, but also for translation. It is appeared as a tool which can offer the convenience not only to Chinese people, but also to Pakistan people to read everything without understanding this language, which is really important. And then media traffic. TikTok, 皮皮虾, 好看西瓜, 西瓜 means watermelon, 皮皮虾 means shrimp. This is not a food. This is the traffic which we have for we media. And these two are really successful icons in China already. And for this is the article which my favorite. It is the we media situation in Pakistan. I believe in this world, no country has already done the we media as good as China. So we would like to cooperate with Pakistani, and we would like to make people understand each other better and to have our own interest better, to benefit not only Chinese people, but also Pakistani. So 2017, we established the CPEC-CCC. CPEC-CCC is Culture Communication Center with the China government. 2018, we developed our own software. From 2021, we started our project, which we are going to establish 5 IPs in Pakistan. Some IP is for civilization, some IP is for economy. It is easy for you to forget a story, to forget a concept, but it's really hard for humans to forget a people. In this case, IP really value a lot. Another thing is that why we are doing all of this above, because we want to have Pakistan fashion, Pakistan style, Pakistanism. That means popular of Pakistan. That's all. And the last thing is that I have been in Pakistan for 8 years. I have established 9 companies in Pakistan. And our CEO, Mr. Amjad, is already here in this meeting. And we sincerely would like to cooperate with Pakistan government to strengthen the friendship. May Pakistan se pyar khati hum. Pak Chindasti Zindabad. Shukriya.
Now I would like to request Ms. K. who is the editor-in-chief of Injindian, one of the largest media group there in China, People's Republic of China, for her remarks.
Hello everyone, nice to meet you all. My name is Ye Ke. I come from East China's Zhejiang province, and now I'm the editor-in-chief of In Zhejiang, one of the most influential voices reporting on Zhejiang province and China in general. And today I'm very glad to join this China-Pakistan Media Forum and to share some of my humble opinions about the future collaboration between Chinese media and our friends in Pakistan and the countries along the Belt and Road Initiative. As we all know, this year marks the 70th anniversary of the diplomatic ties between China and Pakistan. Over the past 7 decades, as Arab brothers, we have always stood by each other, and our relationship has become an all-weather strategic cooperative partnership. Zhejiang province is one of China's most economically developed provinces and is located on the country's eastern coast. Zhejiang is also the birthplace of the Communist Party of China and the Red Boat spirit. Zhejiang has also very strong ties with many countries in the world in terms of trade and business. For example, in 2018, the bilateral trade volume between Pakistan and the Zhejiang province hit $4 billion. As Zhejiang's most influential English language publication of record, our international team of Asia experts, reporters, journalists, photographers, and filmmakers are dedicated to provide in-depth analysis and readable news from Zhejiang, China, and beyond. In the upcoming years, we hope to collaborate with more media friends outside of China and to co-produce more stories and analysis that can help the audience on both sides to understand China and the world in more depth. So far, we have built up relationships with a few media partners from Pakistan, Nepal, Sweden, and many others. For example, in Pakistan, we have signed an MOU with the Institute of Peace and Diplomatic Studies to expand our cooperation in terms of content creation, event organization, and so forth. As a media practitioner, I strongly believe that the dialogues and exchanges between civilizations can promote the continuous progress of human civilization and understandings with each other. And I'm really looking forward to more collaborations with media organizations throughout the world. And thanks again for this kind invitation from the Institute of Peace and Diplomatic Studies. I really want to take this opportunity to convey my very best wishes for an effective, successful, and productive forum. Thank you very much.
You know, this is just not one media forum that we organize. This is the beginning of many series of activities that we will be conducting over the course of next year and coming years as well. So this media forum is just fun, and then we'll continue collaborating with organizations here in Pakistan and of course in China to organize trainings, communication linkages, and various other initiatives in the due process. This is the few of the announcements that I would like to share, and I would also like to thank all my worthy speakers who had shared their consent, and some of them who could not make it to the forum, but their willingness and participation at the last moment till they continued were saying, especially thanking Mr. Fawad Chaudhry, who has been continuously confirming his presence, but due to Prime Minister's asking him to go along with me to Karachi, so he of course he had to listen to his boss. But his presence, his kindness, his support over the course of time has been always an asset. And of course, first of all, Ambassador Nong Rong, Ambassador of People's Republic of China, for of course long-standing support that he has always given to Institute of Peace and Diplomatic Studies, to people of Pakistan across the length and breadth. Of course, due to strict restrictions from their government, they could not make it to the venue, but they would love to be part of our conversations. Thank you so much for your kindness and your support, and your team, of course, Mr. Baozong, for your support and spearheading a very important desk in Embassy of People's Republic of China. Mr. Moinul Haq, Ambassador of Islamic Republic of Pakistan to China, for your special support. Of course, your presence matters a lot for us, especially in these challenging times when there are more naysayers than the supporters of this iron brotherhood, this long-standing relationship between Pakistan and China. And of course, I would like to also thank Mr. Broadcasting confirmed at the same time, at the very last, continually sharing with us that because of the sudden demise of very close family member, he could not make it, but his presence of course matters a lot. His confirmation, his support, his continuously sharing with us his endorsement of what we had initiated. And then of course Mr. Faisal Javed, his remarks are very important, and you must have listened to him, that how important it is for us all not to sit on the edges, but to begin moving towards each other and understand not only the conspiracies that are going on around us, but understand the strategic way of putting the wrong information on such a huge giant social media. So we need to listen to see all the misinformation, but of course use our senses, use our understanding to build an understanding between our countries, and there should not be any misunderstanding. So thank you so much for your presence. Mr. Sarmad Ali was also present, consented, but because of the last minute again, there were always issues, but their consent and their presence and confirmation is such an asset for all of us for the beginning of this long journey that will be going on with our Chinese partners and friends, of course, in Pakistan and of course in China. Miss Wang, beautiful Urdu, thank you so much for your message and great remarks. Ms. Sultana Siddiqui, no words to thank, I have no words to thank what she has been doing for creating a very important landmark for women journalists, connecting both Pakistan and China, women producers, and of course leading such an important network. Professor Jorong, Makhtoom Baba Saab, thank you so much for your presence. Professor Jorong, thank you so much for your presence. Makhtoom Baba Saab, thank you so much for your remarks, of course, and your initiative that you had taken because of the fact that you could not find information, but you created an opportunity for us all. Ms. Scarlett, thank you so much for your, of course, remarks. These are not only important, but these are the spotlight, these are the light in such an era where we will be looking forward how to move ahead. And Ms. Kaye, your energy is always an asset for us, and thank you so much for my team. Mr. Asif Noor Saab, thank you so much for your leadership. My team and my colleagues who are young colleagues who are just being able to communicate with us here and physically. This is such an important occasion for us all to take the moment and see who are our enemies under the guise of friendship, and who are our friends that are standing together with us in form of China in tough and difficult times when there was nobody with us in the world, but China stood with us at the difficult moments, and we should also learn and nurture with our hearts and with our presence and abilities this friendship for a longer run. Thank you so much for your kind presence, and of course those people who have been sitting here, thank you so much also. We would like to share a cup of coffee with all of you, and we'll continue our discussion in future. And those people who have been listening very carefully on our Zoom or Facebook Live, do share your comments, each comment, your contribution, your suggestions for how to move forward is also very important and asset for us. Thank you so much, everybody, and a very good evening to all of you.